Hello everyone, it's Erasmian and welcome back to another episode of HPK Network, Valor Segmented Rank Ups Completion. Today we will be tackling Rank Up 2 and checking out the wonderful intricacies of this beautiful green map. And try a little bit more of a laid-back style of Minecraft parkour commentary. Alright, and without further ado, let's get into Valor 2. And with this one, pretty straightforward. It's a matter of turning, again, that whole idea with the turn, and header timing, and strafing, and working your way with ladders. It's going to become really, really important, especially as you progress further and further into these rank ups. As you can see, I didn't really manage my turn there very well, but it's okay. There's no accidents. There's no real accidents as long as you turn them into learning opportunities. And even learning opportunities can sometimes call you a complete bozo. A complete bozo head. So, regardless, we have the opportunity now to learn from this jump and to realize that we needed to strafe and we did not need to turn or, jump excessively into the void. And we do not need to turn for this. We can just jump this and it'll take us right to checkpoint number 2. Again, with this one, glass panes kind of throw people off, but I'd say aim a lot more for the corner than you think you need to. Or even like at the ground, but in the general vicinity. Even like it looks like, depending on your FOV2, that you're going to miss, even if you're not. However, it will be a matter of, again, hitboxes and their things can be deceiving. So, depending on how you climb on everything, you can make certain jumps you didn't think you could make before. So, this jump was pretty interesting. So, you run it up completely and don't fail it like I did. You have to get the intuition of that jump first and make sure that you're not completely failing it every single time. But what you can do is run up to the jump, hit your head, and it will bounce up on the 2-block ceiling and carry you just enough so that you can make that extra jump. And you'll catch the ladder, send yourself to checkpoint number 3. Then you just run up here. And the whole idea of running and catching something more on the edge, kind of like that, is also going to be incredibly prevalent, especially for future Valor rank up maps. It's particularly prevalent in a couple of sections in Valor 3, so needless to say, a very, very interesting style. And from what it looks like, as you can see here on the glass, you can jump over this way, and what you need to sometimes do is cancel that momentum out. So what I was doing was going a little bit too far and not turning enough. As you can see, we caught more of the ladder that time, but we didn't fully catch it because we hadn't canceled our momentum enough in order to completely minimize our travel. So perhaps it's best in order to get a simple header timing from the edge there. And we needed more of a run up there. So it's these little errors in life that you can use. You can use them to call yourselves a bozo head, or having a skill issue, or any number of ability related maladies. But I say, like Foghorn Leghorn. Well, probably not unlike Foghorn Leghorn, but he is the most popular person who says, I'd say is saying most, Western American pop culture, or something to that effect. It's a matter of, I say that, you can use these experiences to, get better in a more loving, less harsh, less toxic way. See? Did a little bit of self-loving, and I figured out, hey, I just need to travel a little bit less, and I figured it out eventually. Now, it's, I think, best to use header timing in this case to kind of just turn in, but, not cancel too much of our momentum, so we need to, take care of ourselves up to that point. Today was an interesting day. I did a lot of construction work for a project that I got going on in my community. Again, more of the same construction project. See, there we go. And I've been enjoying the physical benefits as well, but it seems like my reflexes have also benefited. And it seems that it's booted me back to that section. So I could get upset. And I could rage in the chat. I could make it a point to get angry. I could, rail and curse at the system. Call myself skill issue. Or I could just, change up my tactics next time so I can get this checkpoint. Finally and truly. See, this is the tricky one that has the 2-block ceiling. This is where you need to really master the art of the head hitter jump. Or, if you want to try something to start off with, you can do what's known as PESI timing, which is relatively easy to get. It's sort of the opposite of head hitter timing, where you, instead of pressing W one tick or a couple ticks before the space bar, you press the space bar a couple of ticks beforehand, and it makes these 2-block ceiling head hitter jumps considerably easier. So these ones you don't need because there's a 2.5-block ceiling, so they're relatively free. And you can also skirt around these. Getting that flick in has been, really helpful for those kinds of jumps. You want to also try and line those up as much as you can. But as you can see, you have a bit of a head hitter jump, so you're going to want to not do that. You can you can PESI this jump. You can head hitter this one. You can do this one. And I think you can even PESI this one. Let me try and check it out. You can. And you can... excuse me. Bit of a frog in my throat. Day's been kind of long. So, here we go. Right-click that, and we are at checkpoint 5. Unnecessary spooky music coming in. You want to thread this like this way. Slime. So we want to hit... I don't think we want to hit the slime just yet. We're going to want to climb up to where the height is an important factor, because you can hit a slime in a segmented course, but you can't really force yourself to realize, oh, maybe this slime isn't, meant for this time. But you can then travel back. Oh, there's a lot of this traveling back that happens with segmented courses. It makes use of blocks previous and to, make jumps that you normally wouldn't be able to by simple travel. And makes you think not just in the forward sense of the fashion like with checkpoints, but it also makes you think in the sense of backtracking and figuring out what can I make of a new jump? What can I make of this? Trying to, find a way to properly hit up with this. There we go. It's a matter of crouching and lining it up a little bit far so that it don't collide with this block, because there's a tiny gap, as you can see, from about there to, from about there to about there, that, just barely makes it. Slightly undoable, but you can, playing around with this sort of thing to the slime. And it'll take us to that jump. Easiest way of doing that is head hitter timing, and even if we fail, the max force momentum, where you jam and press the sprint key 1 tick after jamming, kind of like that, and then be sure to let go of space. Hit the wall and catch the ladder. So you're gonna want to go like this and make the quick turn, and usually want to strafe in the direction that you're headed, meaning that you want to press the forward key and the appropriate strafe key. In my case, it would be the A key to, make that jump properly. And we're at checkpoint 6. And we have to go down here. And we'll walk this up. In this case, we're going to want to make more use of head hitter jumps. And this one's going to also take us with this Neo. And we're going to make use of that. Head hitter timing. Make use of this. You can make it a point to that. And aha, the classic Neo. So in this case, we're going to want to check the direction. We're at positive Z. We can approach completely from the far. If it were positive X, you would have to do a couple of shift taps back. But I think that's more important for when you're encountering double Neos. So you then just, head hitter timing that. Head hitter timing will come with time. It's something that's not easily achieved in the first couple days of parkour. But it is also possible to run up and, juke that. It varies on the person and the person's playstyle. However, head hitter timing is a very valuable skill to learn, especially for, a relatively novice parkourer. With this one, you normally would hit sprint. So normally I'm hitting the sprint key and then holding down the crouch key to stay on the ladder. But because of this vine, I'm going to have to, make that decision to let that go and use the sprint key to, give myself enough traveling time to, stay on the ladder. It's again something that you experiment with on your own time. There are certain jump angles that you can do it at, but it's something that comes with practice and time and, seeing of yourself as, oh, this is a fun and scary thing to do. You can experiment again with letting go of shift and letting go, it seems to be a very, ladder-centric parkour gauntlet, so that's fun to know. I think the easiest way for me to do it is just to, not even bother with pressing shift, so because most of these jumps you can just hit the ladder and keep you travel, momentum going. With this one, with just letting go of the W key, you've got it covered. So, piece of cake. Checkpoint 8, halfway there. Ooh, this one took me a while to figure out. I found it best to chain this one for some reason. And again, jumping over the trapdoor is crucial. So, you don't want to hit the trapdoor. You don't want to make it above the trapdoor. You want to just be right over the trapdoor. Just like that. By whatever means you can do it. Either straight on or slightly turning, kind of like what I did there. And, okay, how do I make this jump? There might be something I'm missing. Oh, never mind. There is water above me. And I'll pop above it and go forward. There'll be enough momentum to carry me forward. Bob up and down. With this one, you want to make use of the trick to, how with this one you pop out of the water and you want to make use of that in the diagonal sense and not carry yourself over like I did there. But it will come with time and with practice, with lots of practice. I've just realized I've been talking really far from the microphone for a very long time, so bear with me on the technical side. But basically, a lot of these jumps are going to come with practice, with time. You have to give yourself some grace, some love, and you have to really, push yourself to have. More importantly, skill will come as you practice your Minecraft parkour, as you practice your jumps, as you continue to, send it over. I don't want to jump on that. Usually turning it really helps with that, personally. However, you want to bob up and down and make it a point to, be patient with yourself. Everyone's going to learn and have abilities at a different rate. Like, for example, I still have issues with pressing space. Pressing space is what makes me fail that jump a little more than I'd care to admit. So, needless to say, everyone's got something that they don't particularly like, even like the most experienced players among Minecraft parkour. Oh, look at that. Somebody's completed a very hard OJ jump. That kind of an alert really only goes up for a difficulty 9. Difficulty 10, there's the Ender Dragon death sound, so that one's pretty fun. I always like hearing the Ender Dragon death sound. It feels like people have just, like, even if it is just a matter of spamming. Oh, here we go. See, I have the nasty habit of still holding on to that space thing, but, And we hit the vines as you try and make it over that way. And we made it to checkpoint 9. So, So, with this one's a bit tricky, but it is still very doable. Oh, never mind. This one just teleports you to the front. I think it's still, very possible to do that jump, but it is probably one that's a bit more difficult than most people would care to admit. Okay, we just run this up, go over this way, and I think we could just jump this. Yeah, jumping it without any sprint on. It's kind of a mixed bag, where you end up having certain... Ooh, yes, this one is more of a... You want to, get to the checkpoint gauntlet, which has designated coordinates, and is more a game of mastery, like how far you can reach. So with this one, I recommend keeping the trackpad off. Here we go, and you can just right click. Make sure to, keep it as much of a no turning kind of thing as possible so that you can, again, playing with different jump angles and whatnot is something very important with these kinds of courses. Playing with all kinds of different things and angles, perspectives, that whole lot of things. So now time for some of this. So you don't jump straight ahead. You want to jump more towards the side. Oh, and actually you want to jump more towards that side. And then make your way over that way. And then hop over here, and run this gauntlet, hitter that to make the extra, upwards boost in momentum with your while. And you can see here on the corner that there is a slime. If you want to practice it, that's great. If not, that's totally fine. And you can slime this one as well. You have that advantage of having that extra slab. And there we go. And by the way, there's a sword here that is very useful for that sort of thing. A lot of, segmented and OJ players, because a lot of these courses are based around very, very precise coordinate jumps, you want to have as minimal a movement as possible. The 1.9 and above equivalent would be a shield, but it allows you to move in a very, very precise manner, which is useful for setting up very precise coordinate dependent jumps. So that's why there's the sword in the inventory. So pretty cool thought I'd mention that. Oh, this one's the one that actually kind of did me in for a while. This is the one that got stuck on before, quitting, that sort of thing. But with this jump, you want to, again, burst it in this way. So the trick is, once you land up here, you crouch to the very edge into the very left corner or right corner, depending on where you're standing, and And then you want to do a head hitter timing. Again, it's kind of tricky to pull off to begin with, but that of course comes with time. So turning this in, going this way, catching the ladder, or you can, it's pretty free to, land on that section as well. But then head hitting this section, I think in this one you just want to line up the corners as best as you can, because you do want to head hitter that other ceiling, even if it's not a 2-block ceiling. You can, I think it's a matter of just running it straight up. I'm not sure. I'll cut back to when I figure it out again. This was a tricky one. This was actually one that I struggled with for a very long time, so I'll be right back once I figure it out. Okay, so from what I understand, it could very well be this strat. Again, it's a matter of just lining up the corners with a bit of a stagger, and then just running up it and hitting that. It's sometimes some jumps seem relatively easy, some seem rather hard, but it's a matter of just figuring out what works for you, because a turn in also happens to work for that. So it's an either or situation. I think in this case you want to chain these so that you can make the trapdoor, and then jump up to the panes, take yourself over this way, line up with the corners, do a slight turn, and hop onto the panes, and here we are. Just don't want to mess ourselves up too much. And blip up with the water, please. Thank you. So blip up that way. Okay, so we want to, actually with this one, we want to push forward in this regard. It's actually much more useful to just, head onto the edge. Again, these ones seem kind of scary because you have to jump around a block. But it's relatively straightforward once you realize that there's, well, actually, generous ample amounts of room with these, where you have to, more focus on the turn and, aiming for where you want to go. Kind of like with driving school. Pull out a page out of Doc Holliday's book, or Doc Hudson's book, more importantly, from Cars. If you find, turning left, you'll eventually find yourself turning right. So there's that weird, car wisdom. So with this one, I think it's more just about, so this one you want to run it up to get that momentum that you need for what's it called, making these jumps. That's a 4-block jump. It's pretty standard fare in more difficult parkour courses, so you're gonna want to watch out for that. In this case, I think it's a matter of alright, lining up the slime jump and hitting crouch as soon as possible. And with this one, you just continue on your merry way, and you're at checkpoint 15 already. Look at you go. Way to go. Alex Hoo created this. Alex Hoo also has a pretty goated YouTube channel, so I'll go ahead and link that into the creators of the maps as I see them in the description. Tag Valor 2. So I want to make it a point to check those people out. They're the ones who help to make a lot of the content on HPK Network. So, and with this one, it's a bit more of a precision jump. It's a jump that requires a lot of, maybe not precision, but enough to carry you forward. Like, you do have to realize that there's that. And again, the turn is helpful when it comes to ceilings that may not be as forgiving. Finding that the turn is the helpful one. It's a bit strange, so. And yeah, you want to sometimes go as far as you can, sometimes you don't want to go as far as you can. In that case, you want to go as far as you can, so that you can have enough of a height to land right at the top, right there. And yeah, last checkpoint of Valor 2. Well done. I knew you could do it. You got this. Even if you fail, you've made it this far. Proud of you. Well done. I know that that could very well sound very creepy and condescending, so if that creeped anyone out, sorry, but also not sorry. Because, you know, you stuck it through this far. So good for you. I think this one is a bit weird because it has a bit of a water thing, and again, end portals are a bit strange in that regard. So I recommend, and sometimes yeah, chests behave in a strange way where you like can't crouch off them without falling off, kind of like that. Depends on the jump too. So, but you want to try and, again, I think it depends on the block's current properties and that sort of thing. Whereas you could, you know, sometimes you can crouch on chests and enchanting tables and all those sorts of, you know, odd blocks, but sometimes you can't. I myself have no idea why or can't explain that sort of thing, but I'm sure that there's some kind of rule, something that, you know, dictates these things in the Minecraft code that, you know, more experienced members of the community will probably be, you know, more keen to knowing. So, once a bob up in the water, there's a weird trick with water where you can like actually like hop over it and get some kind of weird peculiar momentum. So that's a fun little trick. I think I'm just gonna hop over to this fence and hop on down to this section and curve around here, hop around over to this side, run up to the panes. Eventually I'll be back. Okay, after the message is gone, you want to, actually, it's very possible to just hitter this and make it that way. And this last jump, again, any jump that you're struggling on, practice, practice, practice. Nobody's perfect. Everyone could use a bit of practice. There's no need to, you know, shame yourself, because sometimes you can just biff a jump like that and you have to start the section all over again. And do you really want that? Again, it entirely depends on your style of play. Whether you are more someone who wants to risk the progress of a section and fail it all at the end to, you know, build up your visual intuition. Or if you're more of a calm and collected player who's not as concerned about the thrill of the risk, but more about the art of improving. Yes, for some reason that one has a ladder sort of hitbox, whereas this one's more block centered. And you can just bob up and down and bob up, and that way grab this, hop on down here, hop this way, hop that way, and, you know, make it to the finish line. And here you are. You've made it. Well done. That was another episode, you guys, of Valor segmented rank up completion on the HPK network. Currently, these videos are going to be probably uploaded while the server is on its downtime. So, in the meantime, feel free to watch other videos of me completing stuff like OJ and rank ups that happen to be on the map itself as, you know, additional sort of maps. You know, there is a little bit of something for everyone. So, once the servers come back in line, after they've, you know, fixed a couple of important issues, come on in, have some fun, play some parkour, and don't forget to share and enjoy. See you later. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye.